Bhaskar sir will be addressing you then. So, as part of new members who have come in today, I would like to introduce Mr. Ravi Kumar, who has joined us recently. I would like you to come and please introduce yourself, please.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm Ravi, born and raised in Mysuru, and all my education was also completed in Mysuru. And I have over 23 years of IT experience, and my core expertise is on the mainframe, and also I have experience across various technologies, a variety of industries and sectors. And also have global exposure across all the major IT hubs in the world. I would like to leverage this opportunity to wish all the women out here, who inspire, lead, and care. A very happy Women's Day for all of you. And I'm a firm believer that it should not be a day event, rather it should be a lifelong commitment to empower women and value them at all the aspects of life. Right? So thank you once again. And what do I do? I'm a co-founder and director of Legacies Software Private Limited, headquartered in Bengaluru, and we also have a subsidiary company operating in USA. And we exist since 2012. And what do? We offer SaaS and PaaS, which is software as a service, and platform as a service across various private sectors, government and non-government sectors. To name a few, we have engaged with BBMP, Tumakuru City Corporation, and GTDC, it's Goa Tourism Development Corporation as well. And in the recent past engagement, we have developed AI-powered products for agri-tech and fintech. And right now, we are developing, agentic AI, powered super app. It's an aggregator of aggregators, and it's a unified platform where it offers services from 304 categories across 34 verticals. And the simple vision behind this product, to simplify the digital experience for the users, and also offer fair and growth-oriented opportunities for the partners and the stakeholders. I think so.
I was just saying, keep it short.
Okay, sure. All right. Anyway, that was a quick introduction about myself, and I thank you for this opportunity. And I want to special mention Dr. Sadashiv sir, who actually referred me to Thai, and Rajini for the seamless enrollment process. And fellow members, whom I met, at least Ram, Bhaskar sir, Sabrishan sir, were guiding at various aspects. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity.
The person on either sides of you should be a new face, so that you have the opportunity of introducing yourself and increasing your network. With that, I welcome all of you to this interesting fireside conversation, which I've really been looking forward to. It's called Generations of Grit. Why is it called Generations of Grit? Because we are going to have conversations with two types of people. One are first generation entrepreneurs, and the other ones are next generation entrepreneurs, executives, people who are leading their families' businesses. So that's what we're going to look at, an interesting tete-a-tete where we get information and insights from both of these kinds of people. So to get started, I would like to first welcome on stage someone who is the co-founder, promoter of Yash Agri Foods Private Limited, someone working on a challenge which is not spoken of enough, but is a grave problem for our country, and that problem is that of food wastage. So specifically post-harvest food wastage, and this lady and along with her startup has been selected for Goldman Sachs very prestigious program, which actually I had heard of much before, called 10,000 Women. So put your hands together for Ashwini Bagare. I think a louder round of applause can help. Ashwini, you can take this chair here. Okay, fantastic. Thanks a lot, everyone. The second person that I want to invite is an architect and interior designer by profession and qualification. She studied in of all places in Milan, in Italy. Of course, the land of pizza, and I think many things more, which we will discuss as we have this conversation. Alongside her architectural work, she's also a professor at the Vadiyar Center of Architecture, and she's right now managing and developing the B2C segment for her family business, and that is none other than Anna Cherian. A big round of applause for Anna Cherian as well. Right, so I'm just going with the pictures on the poster. That's how I'm getting my panelists to sit together. Next, I would like to invite, so there are 3 cities that I will name. And if any one of you can guess who is the next panelist, please let me know. Mysuru, Oman, Udupi. But who's the person? What? Yes, that is correct. Padmavati has, I think she's done way more things than my age. So, Creative Pool is a web design and graphic design agency that she's been running for 21 years. She also runs Prithvi Business, which is a painting company for both residential and industrial projects. She also runs My Home Homestay. And last but not the least, she is the founder and promoter of Udupi Kitchen. Please put your hands together for Padmavati Bhatt. Okay, ma'am, right next to me. Okay. And the last person that I'd like to invite on stage, but of course not the least, is the second generation promoter of the company. This young woman holds a master's degree in computer science from University of Illinois. She believes in building people-centric organizations, and she's the whole-time director and chief people's officer of
Excel sauce.
Yes, that is correct. Excel Sauce Technology. Put your hands together for Shruti Siddhartha. Okay, you can just check if your mics are working. Everybody has enough mics. Just test the mic and then we'll get started. So there are some simple 2-3 guidelines for this conversation. Number 1, we are going to, though we've sort of spent some time together, this is not a scripted conversation. It's going to be a freewheeling conversation. And I've asked them to be as blunt and straightforward as possible. That's number 1. So you can expect some interesting insights and stories and anecdotes while we are having this conversation. That's number 1. Second, in most panel discussions, what happens is that eventually the audience gets to ask questions, which is going to happen for sure. So make note of the questions you want to ask. But we've decided that we are also going to ask audience some questions just to be sure that you are listening to the conversation that is happening on stage. So please make notes, okay? And we'll get started with that. I first wanted to have a chat with, probably we'll start with you, Ashwini. Ashwini, tell us something that no one knows about you, or most people in the audience do not know about you.
Okay, before I go there, let me introduce myself. I'm Ashwini from Yash Agri Foods, and we are into dehydrated food products. We are a 17-month-old startup from Mysuru, and we have our own manufacturing unit in Haba. Yes, there was an elaborate introduction that introduced a lot of things about me. The one thing that was not there was I'm a very good singer, and I just recorded a song for a music album recently.
Okay. Ashwini, I was going through your profile and I looked at what you do. Before I think we get started,
So we get entertained at the end with a song.
you'll have to request. It's up to her to oblige. The one thing I wanted to know, and I'm sure that a lot of people in the audience also want to know, that what exactly does your company do and what kind of products do you deal with?
As I told, we are a 17-month-old agri-tech startup. We are into dehydrated food products. We have our own manufacturing unit in Hebbal industrial area. We work in both B2B and B2C models. Our products will be like dehydrated food, which are like bunch of fresh produce, green vegetables, fruits, and vegetable powders. The moringa powder, the onion powder, the beetroot powder, and such.
Okay. And Ashwini, how do these products actually help reduce food wastage in the country?
Okay, where we started was with the post-harvest loss. In India, what we know is 40% of the post-harvest loss happens because of three reasons. One is not a proper storage, and not a proper cold chain facility that is there, and the awareness that is not present with the farmers. So what happens is lot of food stays back in crates and goes into waste. So before that actually goes into dustbins, we want to create an awareness and help in a way where we can reduce the post-harvest losses by dehydrating and giving an extended shelf life of 12 to 18 months.
Okay, so dehydration is the main concept that your company is working with.
Yes.
So at the moment, the products that you're procuring or you're making, are they actually things that would have turned into waste otherwise, or is that something that is your vision and you want to achieve in the future?
We are actually contributing a little percent of post-harvest losses, but as of now, we are with touch with farmers. We are helping farmers. We are creating awareness. We have also contract farming in Nanjangoodu, where we are buying their produce.
Okay,
Not
fantastic.
exactly where we are achieving that, but on a way we will do that.
Okay, so that is your vision eventually, to be able to contribute or reducing the food wastage in our country.
Right.
And since it's a topic that you've spoken about a lot, and I'm sure you're passionate about it also, can you tell us a little bit about how does India suffer, or what are the problems of food wastage in India, or how does food wastage affect India in a negative way?
First thing is the loss actually, and the farmer's effort is lost, and a lot of employment that goes, a lot of weight that happens. So everything leads into that loss. And if we are able to create an awareness, okay, now I know, I see that my product is going to be lost. If the farmers is aware, and if they get that in touch with, or we get in touch with them, definitely we can make a difference.
Okay, cool, fantastic. Thanks a lot. I'm now gonna talk to Shruti a little bit. Shruti, I read your profile. You did your master's in computer science from University of Illinois. Somebody who has good exposure, of course, great education. You could have done anything. Why did you join Excelsoft, your father's business?
It's a tricky one. So,
But before that, maybe you can tell all of us one thing that most people don't know about you.
I don't think I have any hidden talents as such, but I did train in classical music up until the age of 15. So although it's been quite some years since I've not been formally singing, I think I still have some talent left there. So probably.
Okay, so yeah, there are quite a few singers in this panel. I am not the one.
But
Yes.
today's, if at all you want entertainment, it would be Ashwini.
Yeah, sure. The reason for
Yeah.
joining or picking Excelsoft.
Yeah, I think I've sort of grown along with Excelsoft. It's been a sort of sibling that really never existed for me. And having watched my family, my father and my grandfather, put their blood and sweat into it, there was one sense of this, inspiration, wanting to be that, wanting to do what my father was doing. So although I didn't know the intricacies of it, what I could see, basis what I could see, it's something that I wanted to also be. So I think that was one thing, and that's why it's sort of my education and my experience also is aligned to what Excelsoft is, what Excelsoft does. So the other bit is also, I think, sense of responsibility of taking forward what two generations built, and being able to make it bigger, and maybe even an opportunity for the next generation if they want to. So, yeah.
Got it. And so while you were growing up, had you already made up your mind that you will eventually join Excelsoft, or that's something that that was an idea that gradually you grew into?
I mean, as a family, there's always that encouragement to do it. That was always there. So the idea was there somewhere in the back of my mind. But then when I did my engineering, I was looking at all my seniors and my friends and them going and working in these big tech companies. And somewhere there was an aspiration for me also to go and do that, experience that. But I think I did get some exposure, and then eventually I think it sort of helped me make a decision that
You worked with
yeah.
Pearson Education.
Yes, I worked with Pearson
in the US?
Education in the US for about 2 to 3 years, and then that's when I realized that I've had this experience. I think it's time to head back to where I belong.
Got it. Everyone in the back is able to hear Shruti? Where? Okay, cool. Shruti, one more question. I know that it's probably is blasphemy to ask this question being a Mysorean. I want to know, what does Excelsoft actually do?
So Excelsoft is a technology company. We provide solutions in digital learning and assessment. So to simplify it, how many of you have taken a test on a computer, an exam or a test? Yeah. So that's what we develop. We create software that delivers exams online. That's the meat of our business. There are other things also which we do in and around it.
Got it. So if I want to pass an exam on a computer, I can get in touch with you.
If you want to make an exam for somebody, yes, we can help you.
Thank you. Great. Super. I'll come back to you. My next set of questions are for Padmavati ma'am. One thing that most people don't know about you.
Namaste everyone. One thing people don't know about me is you have not told, but I'm also an astrologer. So I have been practicing and teaching astrology for last 17 years. Basically teaching for Indian Council of Astrological Sciences, and I have also taken an exam. I'm not sure whether it is right to tell here, because I was the first batch. I was selected in the first batch of Air Force, which was done here, the exam that it takes 7 days screening process and 7 days medical also. That also I had cleared, and I could not get in there. That is one regret, but other than that, I'm also in astrology. That's it.
I think she deserves a big round of applause. Okay, great. So ma'am, astrology, Neer Dose, what is the connection?
Astrology is a passion actually. So I just wanted to learn. I saw an advertisement once in a newspaper, and then I felt something curious about it, and I took it. It's a 2 year course which I did, and it so happened that it didn't leave me. I kept on teaching so that I'm always updated on that knowledge, because that's one subject which is there until if you don't read it, you keep forgetting it. So I'm always there with that. Food business is actually in the family. Basically, my father was a hotelier, and later on, after my father passed away, my mother started a hotel. So, but I did not want to start a hotel. I was thinking of starting another business. So, what should be? Then I said, anyhow, my passion is food. So, I thought, why not start batters? Because that is one thing every day in present condition. Everybody wants some ready-to-cook products, so that which is homely, and you can feel like you are giving a safe food for your kids. So that is why I started Udupi Kitchen.
So when did you start Udupi Kitchen, ma'am? What year?
2019, just before COVID I had started, and somewhere in June, July I started, and then COVID hit. But it was one way blessing in disguise also, because two things happened during that time. We started supplying homes, because no other. It was essential food services, and we could supply it at home. That is one thing which helped. Before that, getting the other challenge was giving it in shops. People didn't want to take because they already have ID or some other brands already there. But then the moment they have tried my batter, people are my customers and my they are one of my important member of my family.
Beautiful. The question I wanted to ask the audience: how many of you have tried Udupi Kitchen products? Okay, so about 10-20 odd % of people. Okay, great, super. So we have 20%. By the end of this conversation, we have to make sure that everybody goes and buys one tomorrow.
It so happens when I go to a shop, I don't ask them. I can't explain what is the product to them because they think everything is same. First, what I do is I give my product to them, idli batter and dosa batter. Go the next day, they will have tried it, then they will not stop using it.
You don't go with ready-made idlis, is it? Okay. All right. Yeah.
On this means it should be cooked and eaten immediately. So that is how it is.
Okay, got it. Cool. I also wanted to know from you that I looked at your profile, and I mean it when I say that Padmavati does more things than I think my age, which I'm not going to reveal right now. And I'm really surprised that at the end of it, she also says that her kids are pursuing their careers. I think one of your daughters is a dentist.
My son is a dentist.
Dentist, and your daughter is pursuing a career in the US.
Yeah.
Right. That she's a dedicated mother and a family person also. So how have you been able to juggle so many hats and yet been able to do what you do at home?
The first thing is I came back to India because I wanted. I was in Muscat for 10 years, and that is the time when I decided I had to come back to Mysuru, and Mysuru is my passion always actually. So I could have started in Bangalore, but then Mysuru was my passion and I came back to Mysuru. And to be always with the kids, and I can give some time to them. Otherwise, once you go to office, you don't have time for them at all. So I manage the time in such a way that I'm always there for all their activities along with my business.
Okay, but how have you been able to manage that? So, because you've done multiple things, right?
I do manage time there, so I know what time they are there, what time they are not there. I manage the time. Whenever it is not there, that is the time I give all the other things I do it.
Got it. So, Rajni, maybe one of these days we have to do a time management session with. Yes, cool. Thanks a lot. I'll come back to you, which brings me to Anna. Anna, one thing that most people don't know about you.
Well, hi, I'm Anna Cherry. Thank you for inviting me to this event. What is one thing? I'd say I like to play the piano. I just have a 7-year-old and a 1.5-year-old baby. So there's not much time in hand to pursue whatever you want to. But I think for the last 4 years I've been learning the piano, and I'm at a stage where I'm going to give my Trinity exam for grade 5, which I'm really excited about. I've been slowly, consistently learning. I'm really excited about that. Yeah.
Okay, wow, I think that also deserves a round of applause. I mean, I don't have anything to do and I still find living every day difficult. I don't know how you folks manage to do so much. Which brings me to an interesting facet of your life about studying in Milan in Italy. And we were just having a conversation before this about the similarities between Italian people and Indian people. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that experience.
I think Italy is just large-hearted like we Indians are. They love the whole concept of being with your family. Every weekend is with your family. A meal is with your family. Family plays an important role, and I think that's why the couple of years that I was there, I felt at ease over there. You know, it's very very similar to what it is in India.
So right now I think she's just sort of holding back her punches. She was telling me before this that much like Indian boys, even Italian boys are mama's boys. sometimes even worse, because they could be 35 years of age and yet their mother will be cooking, washing and doing everything for them.
But I
So
think the trend in India is changing quite a bit. I'm a mother of a boy. I would like him to be as independent as anybody else, right? I mean, I'm guessing you will second my.
yes, we do. That's what we are all looking forward to and working towards. So how do you pronounce your company's name? Is it Chevron?
It's Chevron, yeah.
Chevron.
Yes.
And what? So if the audience here has to know what your company does, how do we interact with your products? Can you explain that to me? Like I'm a 5-year-old, because that's how old I am. I look much older, but yeah.
So we're a cleaning solution company where we have chemicals, tools and tackles, and machines, cleaning machines. So it's like a one whole package. You come to us, we can give you all your solutions that you need to keep your space clean, right from your home all the way to a public space. That's what we do. We've been in the business for the last 39 years, and my brother and I are hoping to take this forward.
Okay. Are there any brands that we would be aware of as consumers?
Yes, so now we also have a B2C range which is called Viroff. We are available at most supermarkets, Loyal being one of the most prominent ones. Because we are so confident in our B2B, we think it needs to reach the rest of the country as well, which is why we started a B2C range. So I am learning through managing the B2C segment in the company. That's my role at Chevron at present.
Okay, and so an interesting part about your journey is that you studied to be an architect. My guess is that those direct skills are not something that you utilize day in, day out at Chevron. How?
No, I'd beg to differ that. Of course, architecture is design, and design is heavily process driven, right? I mean, more than what you see at the end. It's the process that's more exciting and teaches you a lot throughout. And also, as an architect and an interior designer, you're constantly, there's a subject called design thinking, which makes you pragmatically think about a solution for whatever your problem is. I think I'm able to apply that in my work today, which gives me a huge advantage. One would assume that it's probably graphics or the color palette that is where I am, placed at. Quite the opposite. I am able to strategically decide what is required for whatever situation. And honestly, I had no idea that I will have that capacity in me, but I think that's definitely got to do with my architecture background, because on site every day you're problem solving, right? So this, and you're doing this as per your process. You have a beginning, you have an end, and you have everything in the middle. So you learn to chart that open, and then you use the same thing wherever you are in life. It works out.
Got it. So you're saying that your studies as an architect does come into play into work on a daily basis.
Yes.
Now I think I'd like to sort of just look at things from a second generation versus a first generation entrepreneur point of view, and it's a conversation that we were having even earlier. As somebody who's joined their parents' business, I'm sure that one of the things that comes your way, and I'd like both of you to chip in, is comparison, right? You're always being compared to your father or somebody else who started the business. Is that a good thing or bad?
You can go with Shruti, please. So, I think at least I have not really come across people comparing my father and me. Since the time I joined the business, I think I've been able to demonstrate my own style of leadership. So I think people have understood that now, having worked for so many years. So I don't think there's that sort of situation that I've come across being compared and having to deal with that. That said, that's in the workspace, in the office, amongst colleagues. But outside of that, definitely there is always that, that sense of comparison. And it's in a good way. I mean, I take it as an inspiration. to do what my father and also my grandfather have been able to do. It's an inspiration, and if comparing means setting a goal for me, then I'm happy to do it.
Brilliant. We were also talking about the fact that how you grew up with the company. You also mentioned that, right? And you were telling me that there were people who you used to address as uncle. Now you have to work with them, and there's a different way that you have to. So, how has that challenge or that transition been for you to go from being someone who's looked upon as a kid in the family versus now being having to be assertive and also giving direction to people who are probably elder than you and stuff like that?
It's been a very tough transition, a tough shift mentally for me. As you rightly mentioned, I used to call them a couple of them uncle, auntie, and then having to work with them now, calling them sir or by their first names, was very awkward, to be honest, in the beginning. And also for me, I've also within myself, I was always having this question about how I'm perceived initially. But then as I started to work closer with them, there was that confidence sort of got built inside me. And also for them, I think it took some time to take me seriously. Because having seen me as a child who was playing in the office premises to coming and sitting and working together with them was also a shift, I think, that they had accommodated, and they did very well and have supported me ably in that.
All right, and so that brings me to you. Comparison, transition. What are your thoughts, or what have been your experiences?
As Shruti rightly said, comparison within the workspace won't be so much. It's the expectation they have from you that we are used to doing things a certain way. Is it wrong if we try something else? Or it's just something very simple. Would it upset the first generation if we maybe took your style of work? Yeah, it's not easy at all. As you said, I've been there every day of my life for the last 35 years, but it's different when I went as a family member. I could just walk in, do whatever, but now for the last 3 years, there's a shift, and that's not an easy shift for me as well. I'm now going in also as an employee, so there has to be that level of responsibility from my side also. It's not only expecting things from your your colleagues and your father. It's also for me to deliver, right? I need to be serious to be taken seriously. But yeah, this shift of calling uncle, auntie to suddenly, you fumble a bit. You sometimes try to just say the name and just sort of move away so that nobody's heard you, and then it becomes comfortable enough. You develop a different rapport. I think that's the fair word to say. It's a different rapport what maybe my father has with his employees versus me, and I'd say I treat them as my colleagues and not otherwise. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So if you had to give somebody a suggestion, and maybe there are some people in the audience here who are going to join their family business, in whatever form, it may be a smaller business.
Yeah.
What would be your suggestions on how to deal with becoming a part of a system which is already used to a certain way of functioning?
I think it's best to first watch and learn and not be in a hurry to just take over. It's not possible. You'll be making a great mistake if you think it's a Bollywood movie where you can just walk in with your suit and whatever and say that today I will run the business. It's impossible. It's a living thing, and it's being given life by your first generation. So you also need to give it that kind of care. So the first thing one needs to do is to watch and learn, and to be adept with every department, right from the security at the gate all the way to the person sitting in the finance department. Start small is what I would say, and don't try to fit yourself into your first generation shoes the very first day.
Right. Not like that Nayak movie of Anil Kapoor
Correct,
where
no.
one day
See,
and all decisions
no, I
in
mean,
no?
no way,
Oh, damn.
no way. Yeah.
Well, actually, what's your take? What would be your advice for other people
Yeah.
in similar situations?
Sure. So, as somebody from a younger generation, you come with lot of energy, new ideas, new thoughts, and it's not going to be easy to convince people within the organization to understand what you are thinking. But at the same time, they come with a lot of experience and wisdom, and that means something. So. There is a an intersection of that, and that's something that you will have to figure out. It happens over time. You also become mature, they also open up, so that takes
So
time.
then, is time the most important factor? The more time you spend, it automatically goes okay, or is there something that you have to do specifically, consciously to become accepted and be able to lead that organization?
Yeah, definitely time is helpful. The more time you spend with people within the organization, you understand their point of view, the way they've done things for so long. But I think another point that Anna earlier mentioned when we were discussing outside was that your effort, conscious effort to build trust with people, with those key people in the organization, plays a very important role.
And what does trust mean in this regard? Well, is trust just about being nice to each other, or what? How would you define
No,
trust?
I
How
think
would you
trust
explain
is working with each other. I think, as I said in the beginning, one needs to watch and learn. So the best people to watch and learn are from the people who've been working there for the longest time. Because they know everything. They know the loopholes. They know what's right, what's wrong. So working alongside with people is very important. Be it first generation, second generation, whatever it is, it's important to learn to work with the people around you. That will give them faith that okay, they're not here to just take me out because I've been here for a while. Because that's always also other people's their fear that with the second generation coming in, are they also going to bring in a fresh set of people to take my place? So you need to just give them that confidence that that's not what it is.
Okay, and how much of it is actually linked to business outcomes? The trust that you're able to generate with your colleagues, is that also linked to how you're able to deliver new things for the business?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It will take time for them to understand that you are here not just because of your last name, but also because of your capability, the value addition that you bring, being part of the team. So working hard, aligning with the vision of the organization, getting them also aligned to what you are thinking. So definitely all of these do matter. Yeah,
Okay, so business outcomes are also
absolutely.
equally
Yes.
important.
So at the end of the day, you're delivering, you're showing results, you're making an impact that makes a difference.
I'd like you to think a little bit, both of you. Maybe I'll come back to you. If you can just share an example of maybe an idea which you were proposing in the organization, which most people did not support in the beginning, and eventually you were able to turn people around or get them to accept that idea, and that actually worked out really well. If you can just think about that and share that later, I will be very grateful. That brings me to our first generation entrepreneurs, and we'll talk a little bit about struggles that a lot of first generation entrepreneurs face. So I think, Ashwini, if you can start off with maybe a lot of young people in the audience want to have their own startup, and capital is one of the most important impediments, right? How does a first time entrepreneur with maybe no real network, how can he or she also, apart from the idea, look for capital? What are the ways in which you would recommend that they do this?
Okay, it's a 13-year-long journey for me and my husband. We have been couplepreneurs. We call it's a husband-wife team. So it's on and off on the entrepreneurial journey. We started from an education firm, moved out to energy sector, and now we are into agri-tech. So the lessons learned over our journey is start bootstrap. So initially it is very difficult to somebody just randomly believe in your idea as much as you do, and being ready to invest. And there is a lot of questions that come in, a lot of trust issues that come in, a lot of doubts that come in. So we started bootstrap. We still remain as bootstrap, but our journey took a fantastic turn recently. It's when you're ready, the universe is ready to help you. So that help happened with us. So we were very new in this journey, and our association started with SJC Step. It was a casual meeting. We just shared our story with Shiv Shankar sir, and then we understood that what structure we need to bring into our business, how fundamentally we need to be strong, and we need to have that. So the capital is the second part. So there's a golden circle that I always quote. First, have your why clear, why you're doing it, then how and what will happen over the path of your journey. So that journey actually, that conversation turned to a structured way of doing business, and we were also encouraged to apply for Nidhi Prayas grantee, and then we came to know that okay, this government who's helping us with lot of grants, and we took our journey from there. And we were also exposed to few of the funding discussions. Initially, it were one-sided. So again, as I say, pause is very powerful. So at one moment of time, both of us decided, let's take a pause. Instead of rushing and instead of trying to prove our idea and instead of running behind money, let's wait and attract symbiotic partnerships who can help us grow.
Okay, so okay, I'll come back to you about the Goldman Sachs program, and in the meantime, I want to ask Padmavati about challenges that you faced in your journey as an entrepreneur, especially also with Udupi Kitchen, considering that ID as a brand is also fairly well known, it has good recall. What have been the challenges and how you've been able to overcome them?
First, as you said before this, first business was Creative Pool, where it was not a capital intensive business, so I had my own resources for that. I did that, and then when I started off Udupi Kitchen, we had taken bank loans for that, and we started it off. Then, as you said already, that since there are brands which are already popular in the market, then how do we make a place for ourselves in the market? So my product talks for itself actually. So people, if they have tried my product, they can vouch for it, because once you have used that batter, I have already 6 years old customers. So they are continuously using my batters, because it is, I don't want to exaggerate on it. Once you have tried it, you will know that difference to that. Because the batter is just like the made by your mom at home. So you have gone out, you are working somewhere, and still get that same type of batters is very, very important actually. This batter was done basically by my mother, who used to run a restaurant in long back, much before. So I have continued doing the same thing. So it is very much, I have customers even after 35 years old. My mother, when used to do it, they used to come from Ashoka Road to Vidyaranypuram to have just that dosa and go. So that same thing I have maintained it. And
what was your mother's restaurant called?
It was Panchajanya restaurant. Much before that, she used to do it at home actually. Just my father had passed away and she started doing it. So that same thing I have continued, and their batter is excellent with that. For that is one of the reasons. Second thing is to put it in the shops was a very, very big challenge. As you told already, going to a shop and telling that there is a batter, please try it, they are not ready to try it. Even if people who have tried it, they will take it, but who are not ready to try it, how to convince them? So what I started off is, I started delivering home products directly to homes. So it so happened people started buying directly from home. It was very difficult, because for that product what I give, I will not even earn anything. Then people started realizing, why not I ask in the shops? People started demanding that product in the shops. And that is when the shopkeepers started asking for the to place the batter. So it was a reverse marketing which happened for me. and now most of the shops are having my batters, and that is how I've created my place in the market. So, and to some extent, ID is being pushed back for some of the places, because I know where they were not buying it, I have increased that, and that part is reduced. So that way in Mysuru I have made a mark. We are started in Bangalore, so it will take a long way actually in Bangalore also.
Beautiful. I think very interesting insight for budding entrepreneurs, right? And this is a kind of story that I've heard so many times, that when you go and pitch a product to the retailer,
Yes.
they will definitely think that it's a sales pitch and they will not want to accept your product.
Yes.
But if their customer comes and demands your product, they have no option but to give shelf space to your product. So anyone who's looking at retail or getting into these kind of businesses, or the same model or the same principle can be applied elsewhere as well. So ma'am was able to take the product directly to customers, and they are the ones who then became her brand ambassadors to ensure that your product was there. In terms of you spoke about bank loans for funding. In terms of marketing, or somebody who wants to make a business plan for something like this, what would be your suggestions for the students, especially in the audience?
So first, believe in what you're doing, first of all, because if you are not passionate about what you're doing, because there will be a lot of challenges every day, not whenever it is, everyday challenges are there. But if you don't believe in your own passion and your own product, it can't be sold. So that is the first thing you should be doing it. And then fund will nowadays is not a great difficult thing when compared to what I started off, but now there are a lot of funding opportunities. So I think that will come in automatically. So first, believe in yourself and believe in the product what you're doing, and then funds will be there.
And if I have to ask you a question about how do you get your first sale? A lot of young people come and ask me, we know how to build a product, but we don't know how to market it or get our first customer. What would be your suggestion to them?
No, for me it was very easy. I went and gave my customer batters directly free of cost. So they had to try it. Anyhow, it is there for free, so what is that? So then the shopkeepers, once they have tried it, they started asking for the batter. So
Right.
It was very easy for me.
Got
So
it.
that way.
I think
But for others, I have
you shouldn't say easy, because I think a lot of people don't realize this. You just become used to that. It's like the freemium model that most tech companies provide, right? You provide something for free,
yeah.
and then people ask for that particular product. So, let me come back to you, Ashwini. Ashwini is a part of Goldman Sachs's 10,000 women program, batch 32. Did you say? Batch 32, cohort 1. And trust me, it's a very, very prestigious program. And one thing that we all should be proud of is that in her batch, in her cohort, she's the only Mysorean. She's the only Mysore startup. And I was reading her profile and a couple of things that she shared on LinkedIn. Ashwini, you say that creating value is different than capturing value. What does this mean? This is something that you learned from the program, right?
Yes. So, yes, it has been a very intense 3-month program. They call it Accelerated MBA, and the curriculum is designed by IIM. So it's like walking in and around with your pitches ready. Anyone can barge into you and tell me 30 seconds introduction. So it's been so intense, and it's one of the sessions that we had with one of the professors where he clearly mentioned that his name is Dr. Pawan Soni. He's been in Design Your Thinking, and that's his book. Most of the professors walked in with a range of PPTs and a lot of happening and books and all, but he was the first person who said, just shut your mobiles, there's no PPT, I'm not going to explain anything. And he just sat in our space as a learner. So he started like that. So there he mentioned that creating value and capturing value is different. So when we had to do our own statements for our own venture, so we had a lot of rights and wrongs, we had a lot of discussion. So what came in for Yash Agro was creating value is creating products which helpful for customers. Like we are de-edited food products, or we are creating value for farmers, and all that. But capturing value is something that makes you sustain in that business so that you continue to help them. So there are two different things. So please work on both the things. So that's the learning that we had.
But what would be an example of capturing value? If you can explain in example terms.
So for now, when we are into B2B and B2C, it is not just one time I've just sold something and I've come back for it. So I need to sustain in a way that both the sides of my suppliers as well as customers are benefited, and I continue to help them with the same value.
There's one more thing that I think you learned from the program, which is you are the heroine of your venture.
Yes.
What is that about?
So again, many of us know about Sandeep Das. I have been seeing his knowledge packed videos on Instagram. I've been flipping through books, and one day he walks in just as and we were like a good student. We stood up actually when he came in. So I said, I'm not a lecturer or a professor. I'm here to share something. That was one more power packed series. He made us do one small activity. He just told us pick your pen and paper and write priority people in your life. Most of us were mothers there. So the first people that we wrote was children, our children, then husband, then family, then parents, then everybody. And he said, okay, if you have 5 people in your first circle, you will move on to the second. Then you move to second, then you move to third. In 64 women entrepreneurs in the room, none of us written our names there. We were not there at all. So he said, where are you in these circles? Nowhere. So that's how we are trained to be, and that's how the pressure of being perfect has been fed to us from childhood. We need to be perfect daughter, wife, daughter-in-law, just be the perfect one. But where are you in your venture? So he said, just erase all of them. Just tell them, take a side line and move in center of the stage. Show that you are the heroine of your venture. So have that line in mind. I have kept that on my board. So now it's me first.
Okay, cool. I think she deserves a bigger round of applause for whatever she said, and equally for everyone else, Padmavati, Anna, and Shruti as well. I just want to quickly also touch upon both of you what I'd like you to share. Challenges of being a first generation, but also because of being a woman, do you think those challenges multiply? If yes, how? And how do you overcome those challenges?
For me, it has been a very profitable journey actually. Challenges were there, but as a first gen operator, we are free to submit our ideas. We are free to take our own steps, and we don't have to build on something. We are free to build our own ventures. Challenges, what we faced was to build a credibility in our initial times. It was difficult to convince the clients, the customers, and create awareness. I would like to share one insight. I was part of the Suntur Jatre event. Again, thankful for STC Step for giving us that opportunity. It was a lot of farmers were walking in and out. The audience was different for us. So we had all the products displayed there. We had the elite audience walking in. We had lecturers. We had teachers. We had incubators walking in, and they were very much interested in that. But we had also farmers coming in, and I just showed them a product called onion powder. He was like, "Eerullidu pudina." This was his first expression. And then there were other products that you can use this, you can use that. So he said, it is so it's so easy for me to just walk into my backyard, pick up something and eat that. So credibility and creating awareness of these products and usefulness of this and how it adds convenience to your lifestyle. Again, it's an audience-based training that we need to do it. So those kind of challenges have been pretty for us.
Now that you're saying this, it just comes to my mind. I have only seen people who do extreme endurance sports, right? Maybe who go mountain climbing or trekking. They are the ones who use hydrated foods. What would be the use case for general people like you and me?
For example, there is something called as ginger powder. Now, if I have to have a quick hot tea, and I like the ginger, I like the fragrance of it, I like the value that adds into it. But I don't have the patience to wash the ginger, buy it, just grate it and put it in the tea. I have something lying on my cupboard where I can just put it, pinch of it, and it's at convenience to my life.
So for the consumer, it's convenience, and for the farmer on that side, it's reducing food wastage.
Right.
That's
Right.
basically the value that you're creating on both sides.
That's
Thank
one of the points.
points.
that we can do.
Yes, challenges as a first-time entrepreneur and especially as a woman entrepreneur.
When I started off as Creative Pool, getting projects was not so easy because first of all it was something new to websites itself was new at that time when I started off. Maybe I'm first or second person who started websites at that time. And but since it was something new, people wanted websites, and later on I picked up on that. But the other challenges what I face presently is not presently right from the beginning. Getting information right from the beginning for anything is not an easy thing when compared to men, because for men the thing is you go out after hours, whatever it is, you can sit and chat, everything is possible. But for a woman, she has lot of other things to be done. Apart from taking care of the kids, all those things are also lined up for her. She can't spare a time after hours. So when do you manage those things? Where do you get all those informations? So the best thing is networking. So these type of places, actually, one of the reasons I joined TIE or any other organization, I'm there in maybe 50, 60 organizations and I attend everything. Only reason is because I'm a learner. I keep going to those meetings just because sitting and talking is the only place I get information, not by anything else. Books, yes, that we get it, but this knowledge, I get it only through audience. Like when I sit there and listen to people, I get that information, which is not possible for a lady otherwise to get. So that is one of the challenges, and I have overcome that by these activities.
Yeah, beautiful. I think it's a point that most of us don't even talk about or miss out in this entire Women Day conversations and stuff like that. Most of us men, go outside office, have a smoke, or meet after work for drinks and stuff like that, and that's where these bonds are created and information is exchanged. So thank you for bringing this up, and I think especially platforms like TIE and also other platforms are really important for women to be able to overcome this otherwise advantage that men have of both bonding and information. But I'll come back to our second generation executives now. Could you think of any interesting anecdote where you pitched an idea, didn't get a lot of buy-in earlier, but eventually people came around because of its outcome?
Plenty, but I'll talk about one. When we started B2C, I need to get this out in the market. And then I thought the best way is to have a factory outlet because we're right there. Because the designer that I'm, the architect that I am, I also want a nice looking space. It's just ingrained in me right now. I have to have that. So I made a nice drawing. That's what I'm familiar with, and I forgot that the main thing is the product that's inside. But anyway, it took a long time to convince everyone that it's nice to have this factory outlet and it could generate sales for us even if it is a minimal one. So I just kept getting backlashes like we don't need it right now, do something else or whatever it is. So this one time I think my father was traveling, and I hope my father's friends are not going to say this to him right now. But anyway, he was traveling.
They won't.
I called, since again I'm from the field of architecture, I have all my people around me. I got it fabricated, got it done. When he came back, he saw this. I like to believe I'm his favorite person in the world, so I could say nothing. But interestingly, we get a considerable amount of sales from this, and now everyone loves having it there. It's also become like a matter of pride because I see the people taking out the older products, cleaning it up, making sure that it's in place. The first time, we made a good billing, they came and showed me, I said, Jesse, I think it's nice. It's something pretty outside, something accessible, and we're also putting our product in there, which no one else is doing. It's out there in the open for everybody to. Yeah, that was great. That was like a
super. I think she deserves a round of applause. It's almost like having your small baby right next to your dad's big child and feeling really proud about it. Super. Shruti, your experience, any anecdote?
Yeah. So we're a 25-year-old company. Started off small, and now the number is in thousands. So I think, and a lot of people, as I mentioned, have been in the organization for 20, 25, 15 years. So they've had a certain way of doing things. And my initial responsibility prior to what I'm doing right now was to bring in a framework for certain things like, and take one example is risk management. So as a company, although there was informal ways where people would discuss about risks and then talk about mitigation and execute them well, I think it was I felt it was time that there was a proper streamlined formal process of having some of these things in place. So that took a lot of effort to convince people that this is required and this is important. But I think eventually I cannot take the entire credit for myself because the IPO process was there. So that I leveraged that and then was able to convince them and then got a proper framework in place, and today it is being very well used, and I think they are also valuing it, seeing the value in it, and also working together.
But how has that helped your company? Like, can you give some example in terms of how that framework or what you've introduced?
Yeah. So, as a publicly listed company, investors often focus on risks. That's a key thing that they look at when they want to invest, especially large investors. So today, now that we have a proper framework in place, we are able to share that information more confidently and transparently than we would have if we had not had.
So which basically means it has a direct impact on investor confidence, right?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I think a big round of applause for Shruti as well. One more question that I want to ask the both of you is, which I forgot. It's basically if you had to give some suggestion in terms of how do you deal with newer initiatives that you want to bring into the organization, right? With your experience, what would your go-to style be? Will you push for this, or is there another way of making people accept by going around and talking to some people who are trusted aides of your? What's the other way of making things happen rather than just arguing with logic and outcome and PPTs and stuff like that?
So if you try and push new initiatives, there's definitely going to be pushback. At least for me, that's what I faced. So definitely, yeah, what you suggested, trying to get some friendlies on board on your side, using them to sort of communicate why this is important, and also thinking and also making sure that they are they feel comfortable, not threatened, is very important. So yeah, I think that's about it.
Makes sense. Your response to that?
Yeah, no, pretty much the same. Because I think one thing is to, as ma'am said, is to believe in your own idea. So when you believe in your own idea, not a crazy idea, but if now you also have that certain level of maturity to know what is possible and what is not, what you need is support from your people to take it forward. So, but I think if you believe in yourself, it's easy to already make that pitch. I don't think you need extensive, PPTs. I think a simple roundtable conference, taking people's ideas, taking them to confidence is good enough, because they already know that you have the company's interest. You're doing this for the best interest. So I think that's fine.
Got it. So we'll sort of now look at closing the conversation and then opening the stage for audiences to ask the question. But I wanted to ask this one question to each one of our panelists. if there is a movie, song, a book, anything from pop culture or from general life which motivates you, what would that be? And we'll start with you, Ashwini. You had a very interesting one, so. Yeah.
That's the recent T20 World Cup win. I'm a huge cricket fan. So that was a very nice learning for me. How I connected that to entrepreneurship is thanks to Sanju Samson. So I just read somewhere, there were decades where nothing happened with him, and there were few weeks the entire decades happened in life. So he actually demonstrated a very good example of patience, and finally when he gave his statement, he said, I'm grateful for all the prayers that Indians gave it for me. So being grateful and for whatever the life has given to you, whatever life that you are living is dream of somebody else. So the learning that I learned and which I want to implement in my entrepreneurship is wait for your day. You are Sanju Samson, they will definitely come.
For me, there is nothing has one thing which I can mention actually, because I believe that I learn from everyone, because it so happens wherever I am there, I try to learn something from that person, because it might be an employee or it might be a person who is there on the stage or anywhere for that matter, because I'm there in other organizations also. I listen to people. So that is where I take my inspirations and I try to bring them into my daily life. So as such, nothing, one point has such I can, yeah.
No problem. Fine. Anna, for you, anything that you keep
This
going back
wonderful
to?
book called Chocolat. I don't know if you've read it. There's also a movie. It's about a young lady with her daughter, mother and daughter. They're sort of gypsies, but they land in this small town in France. And she opens a cafe. She's new to town. She's opened a new cafe. The town is very, very conservative. She's getting a lot of pushback, but she is at it even when the priest of the town, in the church tells his people, please don't. Tells the congregation, you shouldn't be going to the cafe. It's evil, whatever, But what she does is she starts befriending the townspeople one by one. She gains trust in them, and they come to her cafe every day where they don't find solace maybe in their house. She keeps at it. She finds a way to keep her cafe running. It's a beautiful book. There's a lovely a movie as well. So if you do get a chance, read it, watch it. I really love it, and I think that there's a lot to learn from that.
Super. Shruti? Yes, bigger round of applause. Please, let's go. Not over that applause.
I don't know how many of you have watched the movie Intern. The Intern. Yeah, that's something, I don't know. It sort of rings very close to my heart. The dilemma that she faces as a mother, as a wife, and her baby, her business, and that sort of fatherly figure that comes into her life. Yeah, Robert De Niro. My grandfather was very close to me, and he was, sort of a figure that had so much of influence in my life, and I sort of relate that character to him. So that's something that's close to my heart.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, I think all of our generations of grit deserve a much bigger applause. I'd like to thank each one of you for sharing whatever you did. I'd like to open the stage for questions. Rajni, how many minutes, how many questions do you think we can take? About 5? Okay, cool. All right. So if you can identify yourself and ask a question, one-line question, as opposed to making a statement and then asking a question. So we'll start with the gentleman towards the back of the... Yes. What you do and a question. And you would like to ask.
Okay. Good evening. This is a student from the College of Engineering and related wishes of International Women's Day. We get some. So it's just a normal day college and management class. Our lecturer comes in and tells we are better at decision making in business administration. He said at one point that men calculate the risks but still, women are, some because they're already used to the administration related stuff at home. I'm not sure if he's right. I hope so. He's right. So, anyone on stage would elaborate on. Yes, please.
I definitely think women do have extra, which a little bit of upper hand, because good or bad, great at multitasking. I have two, and my little one is 1 year old. So days when he's sick, I have to take the come back, go to work, come back, make sure she's okay. Dealing with that stress, you have to be calm and composed. You cannot break over. You, as someone said, you're a daughter, you're a wife. Husbands in the merchant navy is away most of the time. Is all playing on your mind, but you always train that way, just born that way, are taught to manage all. Obviously, I do a good thing or a bad thing, but that's how I'm wired. I'm able to think rationally and practically at the same time, with so much of a fuss.
So was your question to men-related risks depend on intuition, gut? Is that what you wanted to ask?
Partially, what he said, what men, it's more like a decision benchmark compared to men and women. So, they were suggesting, or it was telling that make better decisions relating to business administration.
Sure. Yeah. I think gentlemen in the picture wanted to ask. Please, if you can identify yourself and let us know who you want to ask the question.
Yeah, my question is, this is what I actually amazed by products because competing with idli batter. The Maladi was my business. I want to ask you, have you both changed that you are can give franchises to other guys who want to carry on business?
Question, are you open? Yes?
Yeah.
I think we are still very small.
That's what I have at stage.
We are open for whiteling. I don't think we are yet ready for.
Okay. Franchise in the sense, can they?
We can definitely, because the started was less. So we would continue to take that journey. We can definitely meet. Welcome to our setup discussion. I'm not sure of the franchisee point.
It's not for me, it's just
Okay.
somebody else who's key.
I didn't get what franchisee are, because franchisee to manufacture here or to take back and then
Manufacturer.
so we are right now doing it because this product is very delicate product because its shelf life is small. So doing a franchisee might help that person, and also there are a lot of inquiries for us, but right now
It will be same manufacturing setup.
I have got many inquiries from North India, North Karnataka also. So right now we are doing it. Maybe in future we will do it.
Yes, lead to the left of the stage. Please identify which is share your name and tell us your question.
Yeah. Hey everyone, I'm Disha from GEES College. I'm an MBA student. My question is Padmavati ma'am. What about business did you have in the beginning that completely changed after gaining it?
You're talking when I started my business?
Yeah.
When I started. That's an interesting story because I haven't started this. Even though I'm from a business family, actually, my parents were both years. I all thought that I will in business. I finished worked 10 years in Muscat and I came back. Wanted to the company, and that's why I faced lot of problems to get a in my for an IT person with an IT engineering degree. They, you are overqualified for this job. I was even ready for a entry level job. It was very difficult. This is when I took the decision that I will start my company. An accidental than what I believed and I was an accident entrepreneur actually. But then for that I made a mistake because I started doing animations in the beginning. And nearly 1 year struggled. That is when I decided to get into web design, graphic design. So my decision was wrong. And later on I changed it into something else which I can manage. Yeah.
So, anyone else with a question? Yeah, I'll go to the.
My name is Shidiyappa, and one of the questions we had a lot of insights. So, first to the question, entrepreneurs. So, I started a brand, and the problem I have is gaining customers, especially trust. Because we Indians are always to people like, why is he? Why? What does he want? Is it? So we have this close attitude to such things. So, what do you think is this module for like gaining customers, product based startup? What is filter coffee powder?
To start off, sampling at different places, give free coffee. That is where you will start buying from. You can sampling at different places. That is a model you can start off with. Until they do that, they will be buying your coffee.
You send a sachet of your powder along with Udupi Kitchen.
Sure.
Entire. Last question. So, even in the blue, yes. Your name?
One minute. I dosa and given it. That is not a feasible. For coffee, you can still. That is the reason I do that.
This is Avinash from Mysuru Radio. So one, I would like to know, like, what is it one thing we men learn from women achievers in terms of work? So I'm very curious. Whenever learning happening, we learn it so fast. So what is the secret of it so that we can achieve? Thank you.
I can tell you time management, which is very important in our works. So, lot of compartmentalization is required. So that is when we can achieve a lot of things. So,
Thank you very much, ma'am.
I'd just like to add one of the learnings in recent times. Most of the time they come with the soft, the nice, these jargons and tasks. Please be aware that we can laugh and fair also.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think we should also respond to that question. What is it you think we should learn from?
There's so much unfinished it in one. But I think, as I said, I have the capacity to understand some things emotionally and practically, and to the two, and address the issue. I think be soft and be tough when tough. That's a whole different conversation. I guess whatever to say. Sorry, what do I say? Lucky way like that. There's no answer to this.
So I think a lot more empathy because you're not in a family. You understand your partner, your children, your parents, and that as a woman that comes naturally a lot of things. So,
Thank you. I have one more question to close the panel, which is, I think, RJ question. What is that one thing that you expect from in different domains of your life? So, of course, I'm not talking about specifically your husband or male colleagues and stuff like that. Just generally, as men, what is it that we should do better so that women are able to achieve their potential and are able to contribute in the best possible way? Because one thing I don't know how many of us know, India has one of the worst statistics when it comes to women participation in the economy of our country, and the sad part is it's actually going down. So during COVID it went down and it's not really coming back up. So there's a lot of work for the other sex, which is the men, also to do to be able to make sure that we are able to harness the potential of the ability that women have. So maybe one line answer on what do you think men should do better?
Men should, I think, start looking beyond the gender. There are capabilities and skills which are gender neutral, and those should be valued more, and that will definitely help. Yes.
I think just being a little bit more empathetic to each situation just makes everything already equalized, and probably putting yourself in a woman's shoes for a second might just make things easier, I suppose, or make it easier for you to understand where the women are standing right now.
I would like to tell, give more space where possible, because and don't cut a conversation when it is happening, when a girl, lady or somebody enters. The discussion stops there. So as if that person does not understand, but they are much more understanding, and they can pick up things there. And the other thing is, where a man puts an effort, 10 times more a lady has to put. So for doing that, she has spent so much more time and effort to be there. So understanding that is more important.
I would add the respect component of it. So again, move beyond gender and have that mutual respect. And it is not just men or women or anything. Just treat them as your colleagues, as your partners, and trust their decision and trust their intuition. It works.
Cool. Do we have time for questions, Ajay?
Not question, but ultimately men will be men as per Imperial Blue advertisement.
That's why I don't drink Imperial Blue. Okay. Rashmi, any announcement before I close the panel? About anything that happens after this? Or this is it?
No, I will just have the members handle and then we just have another small.
Okay, cool.
Just
All right.
one
So,
question for Padmavati ji.
yes.
When will the war end? Any predictions that you make?
Your chart, India's chart, world chart.
The world chart. Thank you.
It's very and a lot of maybe to be studied to make that prediction. And we have to, when it started, a lot of things to be done.
God, we'll have a session for that later. And I think we are to the end of this session. I'd like to thank each and every one of Ashwin, Padmavati, and Sudeep for being here and all their insights and outputs. So, more than generations of, I think I would like to call this Women of Grit, and I think what each and every woman is a very happy Women's Day to everyone. Like someone said, one day it's about something that we have to do. We've all been in the room, we've heard what is it that women want, so at least let's make that to start implementing this in our day-to-day life tomorrow onwards, so right after this session. That's it from me. A big round of applause for my panelists, and thank you everyone for being a part of this audience. Over to you, Rashmi.
Thank you, Sachin, for being a generous moderator and our ladies for answering all the questions. Please be on stage. May I request the board members to please come hand over the memento